Hi, my name is Patrick Janava. I am the CEO and founder of Impact Performance. Our mission is to empower and educate people through health and fitness to reach their fullest potential. And in this video, I'm going to be going over program designing for your home-based workouts to really focus on prioritizing building strength and not losing that hard-earned muscle. I've been hearing a lot on social media that people are just worried about not being able to lift the weight. I'm kind of getting a little jittery. Dude, I need to lift some weight. And I'm here to tell you, have no fear. You're not going to lose your gains. Muscle isn't going to deteriorate that quickly. However, I am going to explain a little bit about program designing for strength. Because what is strength? It's your ability to produce high amounts of force, pulling the bar from the ground or squatting lots and lots of weight. And so while we don't have the load variable, where there's other variables that we can sort of taper with to really sort of give us that effect, because the body's not going to really know if we're lifting heavy weight unless we really create the stimulus for it. So, we have, if we look at an overview of all the different variables that, in a sense can make your training program, you have your load or the intensity of which you're working out, the volume, so the sets, reps. You have the tempo of an exercise. So the tempo, we're going to kind of go into this, is going to be as far as the speed of which each rep is. Rest interval is going to be the amount of rest you're giving yourself after an exercise. And then you have your exercise selection, so adding variety to your workouts. And then the exercise order, so as far as the importance of what you're trying to really emphasize on. So if squatting is your main focus and you really want to get those numbers up and you don't want to lose strength in your squatting pattern, then picking exercises that will replicate and really give your body that stimulus to continue building muscle. And then frequency is going to be within that week or day of how many times you're actually hitting each muscle group. Okay, so when it comes to strength and when you're lifting heavy weights, it's if you're solely focusing on the numbers and you're really just not wanting to lose that progress that you made in the gym, it's all going to be about the load and the intensity. Now, like I said earlier, you don't really have the luxury if you don't have weights at home. How do you create that with your own body? Well, this is where tempo comes in. And so with tempo, and I'm going to kind of demonstrate for you guys here, a simple hip thrust. We got Sierra over here in the background. So a simple hip thrust, great hip extension exercise for your glutes, your hamstrings. It's going to help a lot with, any sort of those posterior chain movements. But in itself, what we're going to taper with is that tempo of the exercise, right? So you'll get your middle back on the couch. Okay, your feet are going to be about, shoulder width apart. Now you can obviously, and I can kind of go into a couple different variations. We can just do a regular hip thrust where you're looking down at the corner of the wall, squeezing the glutes at the top, slowly coming down, and then coming up. And so the tempo for this exercise, what we can do is we can do 5-second hold, 5-second hold at the top, and then while you're going down, slowly creating that tension, and then exploding back up. Okay, so we want to really emphasize the tension you're creating intrinsically in your glutes, right? I'm creating this tension, I don't have any weight, but in a sense I'm creating my own tension with the muscle that I have. So this is going to be one variation. If you're used to just regular, double, just regular hip thrust, throw in a single leg, right? So now you're going to put all the load on that one leg. It's going to make it much harder. Drive up, squeeze, 3, 2, 1, slowly coming down. And if you haven't really done a lot of unilateral work where you're challenging each side, this is a perfect time for you guys to really work on that unilateral work, that balance. If you have a lagging side, whether it's your left or right, you can really emphasize training that lagging area up, kind of bringing that up to speed. What you're gonna do, this is gonna be more knee dominant. So the first exercise is more hip dominant. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put your foot on your couch. I mean, we got something on here to kind of make sure it's not getting dirty. We're gonna do a Bulgarian split squat. So what we're gonna do here, obviously, is if you haven't done any unilateral work where you're challenging one side at a time, this is gonna be a great exercise. If you have, been doing Bulgarian split squats in the gym, you're holding like 50-pound dumbbells, how do we make it harder? So we're gonna change the tempo and the range of motion of the exercise, okay? So we're gonna do what's called 1.5 reps. So a 1.5 rep is gonna look something like this. You're gonna go all the way down, you're gonna come up halfway, going back down, and then coming up. Okay, so all the way down, halfway up, down, and up. Okay, and just do reps for that. If that seems too easy, just slow down and pause at each point of when you're going up and down. So pause at the bottom for 3 seconds, coming up for halfway, 3 seconds, going down for 3 seconds, and then finally coming up. Okay, so that's a very simple way on how you can add variety to your workouts, just using your body weight, right? But in a sense, you're changing the tempo of the exercise. You're manipulating the range of motion throughout the exercise. So then that way, if you haven't been used to that style of training, it's a really good opportunity for you guys to really work on those lagging areas. And at the end of the day, strength is obviously your ability to produce force. But if we can work on those, areas, those, assisting muscles, for those compound movements, you're only going to get stronger when you get back to the gym. So the next exercise, we're going to do a variation of a push-up. Now, when it comes to push-ups or a lot of upper body exercises or any exercise in particular, for building strength, it's all about really giving yourself a disadvantage when it comes to leverage, right? So when you think of a regular push-up, right? And if you think of where your weight distribution is and the leverage points, right? All the weight is evenly distributed from my upper body to my lower body, 50-50, right? If I were to put my feet on top of the box, now the weight distribution is like 70-30, okay? So the higher and higher you go to like a handstand push-up, right, where you're front loading all the load on just your upper body, taking it all off your lower body, that's something where you're manipulating the leverage. You're making it harder on yourself biomechanically to perform the exercise. When you make it harder, now your body, your central nervous system is really geared to handle this new type of stress. So if you're not doing like handstand push-ups, that's a really good variety. Now, I'm going to demonstrate a push-up called a pike push-up. So you want your hips out like this, high up, okay? You're going to come down all the way, pause at the bottom, and then slowly coming back up. Slow on the way down, creating that tension, pausing at the bottom, holding it, and then slowly coming up. If you can do more than 5 of these, go slower. And if these are too easy, do handstand push-ups. That was tough. Okay, so like I was saying, manipulating the tempo of an exercise, giving yourself a little bit more variety in your exercise selection. So if you're so used to doing regular barbell squats, deadlifts, a lot of these bilateral movements where you're using both legs, try doing unilateral work, doing some lunges or split stance squats, Bulgarian lunges, things of that nature. Also with your upper body, if you have a strong upper body, make it harder with those leverage points. Biomechanically put yourself at a disadvantage so that way you're giving your body a reason to adapt to that new angle, right? It's something you haven't done before, and that's what it's all about. So if you kind of get a little creative, take the concepts that I just taught you into your own program, build upon it. and build upon it in a way that's going to benefit you and your goals. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate your time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.